So sorry, guys. Okay, what we were doing in the previous class?
Ma'am, why and how private sector?
A little bit louder, Sana.
Ma'am, why and how private sector regulated?
Okay. Yeah, this was we were doing, right? So today you need to be very, you can say, quick. I will be taking the test of this chapter after we will be done with the unit that income determination. I will just postpone this test. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Because Sana has exam, so we need to do the things. Okay. Next is okay, we did this. See, so the question is why and how private sector regulated IPR 1956. So how private sectors were regulating through the system of licensing. Okay. For example, this is private sector, right? Public sector. Okay, and he is controlling private sector. So how, ma'am? Licensing. Ma'am, why licensing? Because no industry was allowed unless a policy was obtained from the government. This policy was used for promoting the backward regions. Okay, still here you did. Okay, now the question is, ma'am, why licensing system? Okay, why policy of licensing system was adopted? So why? From here you will get the answer of why. This policy was used for promoting industry in the backward region. Now there are two reasons. One is rural and one is urban, right? Rural means the backward areas like the village and all that. Urban means the towns and all that, right? So what was happening? For example, if you want to establish your industry in the rural area, right? So you don't need to pay much tax. Okay. So if you have to pay over here, then basically you don't have to pay tax. You don't have to go for licensing. You can easily get the licensing for rural area. But if you want to establish your industry over here, like the urban areas, then you have to pay heavy tax. Plus for licensing, you have to wander here and there. So not many efforts. So why this was done? Right. So see, why the policy of licensing? This policy was used to promoting industries in the backward region. What was it was easier to obtain a license if the industrial unit was established in the economically backward area. That means rural area. If you are establishing your industry in the rural area, it was easy to get the license. But if you are establishing your industry in the urban area, then it was very difficult. Okay, and if you see, if you want to start your industry, so you wouldn't be thinking about the convenience where you can easily get the license. So people started investing over rural area. Why? Because they were easily getting the license. And in addition, such units were given certain concessions such as tax benefit and electricity at lower tariff. So if you will establish your industry in rural area, you will get the benefit of tax. You have to pay less tax, right? Plus electricity concession will be there, like the electricity rate will be there. Okay, thus the purpose of this policy was to promote regional equality. So why this policy was adopted? This, because of this reason. Okay, now this is the question, like why licensing system was adopted. So basically this was established so that they can bring equality. And how this was forced, like if you want to establish your industry in the rural area, it was easy to get license, but if you want to establish your industry in the urban area, it was very difficult. So that's why people started focusing on the rural areas. Now, for example, this is your industry, right? And you want to expand it. That means you want to expand it like this. So then also you need to take the license to expand your industry. So ma'am, why? Now the question is why you need to, already you have a license, so you can expand it or whatever you want. So why? So even an existing industry has to obtain a license for expanding output of the diversely production. So this is the second point. Okay. Then the question is, ma'am, why? Okay. This was meant to ensure that the quantity of the good produced was not more than what the economy required. License to expand production was given only if government was convinced that the economy required a larger equality of good. For example, I have this wine shop. Okay, now I want to expand it. So government won't be giving me this license. Why? Because that is not required. Why I need to expand my wine shop? There is no requirement for that, right? But in case if I have a food shop and I want to expand it, I'll get the license because that is the requirement of the economy. So that's why if you want to expand your licensing, you need a license. Why? Because government needs to decide whether the whatever industry you want to expand, that is required in the larger quantity or not. If it is required, then you will get the license. If not, then you won't be getting license. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Girls, clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Here.
Okay. So basically why and how, this is the first point. Okay, you have written, and then you will put why. Then you will write this. Okay, till here. Okay, then you will write this is your second point. Okay, this is your you can just a minute, just give me 1 minute. This is your second point. Then this is why. Clear? Because in exam hall you can get the question like why the industries need to take license for expanding. So you have the answer. Okay, so first write it down.
The first was that first
Yeah,
point
which you
and
wrote.
why.
Yeah, this. No, till here you have written government, right? In the previous class. So you'll write why and then you'll write this till here. Okay. Then the second point and then why. Okay.
So these are basically statements.
Yeah. The question is if they will ask you why and how private sector regulated, like how private sector was regulated. So first thing is that through the licensing system, ma'am, if you want to establish new industry, you need license. The second is, ma'am, even if you have the existing industry and you want to expand it, you need a licensing. So this is how public sector, like the government sector was controlling the private sector. Clear? But if they'll
Okay.
ask you the explanation, then you have to write the explanation as well.
Okay, got it.
Done, ma'am.
Done.
Okay, both of you done?
Done, ma'am.
Both of you done? Yes, no?
Done, ma'am. Ma'am, done.
Let's just start. Next topic be very, very quick. Okay. Next topic is promotion of small scale industry. See, there are different type of industry, right? So one is small scale industry. So first of all, the definition of SSI is small scale industry. So ma'am, what is small scale industry? This concept is all about industry. So now ma'am, why small scale industry? So first of all is why small scale industry? Okay. So in 1955, the Village and Small Scale Industry Committee, also called Curvey Committee, noted the possibility using small scale. So there was a committee. Like committee means few people came together and they make a committee, that is known as Survey Committee, and from there only the concept of SSI came. So you will write in 1955 the Village and Small Scale Industry Committee, also known as Survey Committee. Okay, till here. And now, what is small scale industry? So a small scale industry is defined with reference to maximum investment allowed on the asset of unit. Okay, so this limit has changed over the period of time. In 1950, a small scale industry unit was one which invests 5 lakh rupees. So at that time, it was like if you are investing 5 lakh rupees, then your industry is small scale industry. If you are investing, okay, 6 lakh, 7 lakh, 8 lakh, then it is not a small scale because maximum can be 5 lakh. But today it is 1 crore. Okay. So, ma'am, what is small scale industry? A small scale industry is defined with is the one. Okay, a small scale industry unit was one which invested a maximum of 5 lakh rupees. Okay, okay, just write till here. From here, in 1950. Wait. I'll just erase everything then so that you can make your notes in a good way. Okay. First question is, ma'am, a small scale industry, from where it came? So it came came from Carvey Committee. Okay. Next, ma'am, what is small scale industry? So basically, in 1950, a small scale industry was that industry which used to invest maximum 5 lakh rupees. But today, if you are investing maximum 1 crore rupees, then it is known as small scale industry. Clear? Next is, why did the government promote small scale industry? Like, why small scale industry? So the reason is that the small scale industry are more labor intensive. In rural areas, like see, you have only 5 lakh rupees. So in that 5 lakh, you cannot invest more machines, right? So you will use labors, right? So if you will use labor, that will generate employment. People will get employment. So why government promoted? The next question will be hashtag, why did okay, why did government promote? So the reason is the small scale industries are basically labor intensive. That means they use more of labor, and the large scale industries, they generate more employment. That's why government promoted small scale industry. Next, how did government promote? Like what was how? What was the strategy? The small scale industry cannot compete with the big fan industry. For this purpose, the production of number of product was reserved for the small scale industry. Okay, so see, there are lots of products, maybe clothes, maybe food, maybe you can say infrastructure thing, right? There are lots of things. So what happened? How government promoted it? Government said that clothes only small scale industry will produce. Okay, no other firm will produce. See, because if a small scale industry are also producing this clothes, and large scale are also producing, so maybe there are high chances people will be purchasing it from large scale. So that's why government reserved it, right? The production. So what happened basically? How did government protect and promote? So the production of number of product was reserved for the small scale industry. Second, they were also given concessions such as lower exercise duty and the bank loans and over. So the tax which small scale used to pay was less. Plus, if you want to start up your small scale industry, you need loan from government. So you will get loan at lower interest as well. So these were the two things. First was the production, right? Till here you will write the production of number of product was reserved for the small scale industry. Second, they were also given the concessions such as lower exercise duty and the bank loans at lower interest rate. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you explain that beginning part again?
Yes, sure. First is promotion of small scale industry SSI by the government. So question is, you will not write promotion, you will write hashtag small scale industry SSI till here. Then ma'am, what is SSI? First thing is you will write the village and small scale committee, also called Karwa committee. Okay, the committee started this industry. Now the question is, what is small scale industry? Basically, if you are investing maximum 5 lakh rupees in, if you want to establish the industry, you need to, invest. So if you are spending maximum 5 lakh rupees, that is a small scale industry. But for example, if you are investing 6 lakh, that is not a small scale industry. Maximum can be 5 lakh. So in 1950, a small scale industry unit was one which invested maximum 5 lakh rupees. But today, if you are investing rupees 1 crore, then you will come under small scale industry. Okay. Next is, why did government promote small scale industry? Because it was labor intensive. Okay, and because of that, it's generated more employment. Next, how did government? Because of two. First, it reserved the product. Second, it gave a concession. Concession means relaxation on exercise duty. Plus, it gave loans on low interest. Clear? I hope these three things are clear. Guys,
Yes, clear.
so you can make your notes quickly.
done.
Both of you done?
Done, ma'am.
Sane, you are done?
Yes, ma'am, done.
Oh. Okay. Now we are finally done with the industrial sector. Today we'll start the foreign investment and all that. Okay. So we are left with for a very few things. So hopefully it will let's just try to finish it off as quickly as we can. Or others, next class I'll just take only 15 minutes to cover it and we'll be done. Okay. Sana, this chapter is coming in your exam.
No, ma'am.
Sani, you are not audible. You can write in chat box.
Ma'am, it's not coming, ma'am.
Not audible. You can write.
Ma'am, it's not coming, ma'am.
Okay, not coming. Okay, then we'll just I'll just cover this and then question answer and all that. We'll just do it. Halima, when you have your exam?
My exams are this month only.
So is this chapter is coming?
No, teacher, not this.
Okay, you didn't get any syllabus yet, right?
Not this one.
Oh,
I think it was the Agriculture 1991, since 1991, that chapter.
okay. So we'll just quickly cover it in this class only so that we can start with the next chapter. Because what's
Okay.
important is whatever is coming, we need to cover it first. Okay, foreign trade and the policies. Okay, the first was import substitution policy. Okay, so which foreign trade policy was imported? Import substitution, like the inward looking trade strategy. Okay, so in the first, import substitution policy means it is also known as inward looking trade strategy. Technically, this strategy is called import substitution. Okay, which aimed at replacing or substituting imports with the domestic production. So basically what was happening, like the main motive was that whatever we were importing, right, we won't be importing it, we will be producing in the country itself. Okay, so the main aim was to replace or to substitute imports with domestic production. Like we will be producing it and then we will be replace it, right, we won't be purchasing it from someone, we will be replacing it. Okay, next is protection of domestic industry from foreign competition. See, if you are producing clothes, okay, and if you are also getting clothes from foreign, so there is a high chances like people will be liking the foreign clothes, or maybe like the somewhere, it is a division. Earlier, if you have only one choice, then everyone will come to this shop only. But if you have two choice, few people will go here, few people will go here, right? So that's why in order to protect domestic industries from the foreign competition, what was done? The import substitution policy, the government protected the domestic industry from foreign competition. The reason, the question is, ma'am, why? Why government protected it from foreign competition? So it is assumed that if the domestic industry are protected, they will learn to compete in the course of time, right? Our planner also feared. First was, see, okay, from here itself, the policy of production is based on the nation that industries of developing countries are not good in position to compete against the good produced by the developed economies. Okay, so first thing was that they thought that the industries of developing countries, they are not good. So that, for example, you have this dress, you are the learner, and the some who is expert. Of course, everyone will be loving their dress and they'll be purchasing that. So that's why the first point was that ma'am, why government protected the countries property, the industry from foreign competition. The first is because they thought that developing countries industries are not good enough to compete with the developed countries. Second, it assumed that if the domestic industry are protected, they will learn to compete in the course of time. That if will give you 6 months or 7, then they will learn, they will improve. Third, our planner also feared that the possibility of foreign exchange being spent on import luxury of goods with no restriction were placed on import. So if there is no restriction placed, then everyone will be purchasing it from foreign. That's why they use this policy to protect the competition from foreign competition. Clear?
Yes.
Clear.
Next, protection from import took in two forms. Now the question is how? How you were protecting it. The reason you already know why you protected because of three reasons. But how? First, you put tariff. Okay, so ma'am, what are tariff? Tariff are basically the tax which are imported on goods. Okay, so tariff high tax was put on the things which were imported. So that if you have to import something, it is of 10 rupees, but you have to pay tax that will be for 20 rupees. And the same product you are getting in your economy for 10 rupees. So you will purchase this one. So high tariff was placed plus quotas, especially to quantify goods which can be imported. The quota was given the reservation. Okay. So these were the two things through which, the tariffs and quotas, like through which import was protected. Clear? Okay. So we'll just put the heading foreign trade policy import substitution. So from here you will write inward looking trade strategy. Technically, this right is called import substitution, which aimed at this. Okay. Then after this reason for protection from foreign competition. Okay. So first reason is from here to here, second here, third here. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Clear.
You can quickly write.
Ma'am, done, ma'am.
Done.
Both of you done?
Done, ma'am.
Now just write this. Protection from imports. How government protected imports. Okay, how government protected imports. Okay, then you'll write first tariff and second quota. Tariff till here and quota till here.
Done.
Done, ma'am.
Okay, both of you done?
Done, ma'am.
Okay. Now, basically, critical evolution of industrial and trade policy. You already know what are industrial and trade policy, right? So, trade policy, you already know that, yes, ma'am, like licensing and all that comes under this. So, critical evolution means the positive effect as well as the negative effect. Okay. So, I'll just explain you these things and you people will take screenshot and after that, you'll just cover it. Like tomorrow, there is no class of yours, right? So, in meanwhile, you'll complete it because this is the last topic. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Critical evolution of the industrial and trade policy. So first is positive effect. So ma'am, what is positive effect? Basically, the achievement of India's industrial sector during the first 7-year plan was impressive indeed. Okay, the GDP was sorry, just a minute. Okay, I'll just explain. So positive points and as well as a negative point. So first thing is that first point is over here. This is the first point that the proportion of GDP contributed by industrial sector increased in the period from 13% in 1951 to 24.6% in 1991. Okay. So this is the first point. This is the positive point, that it increased. Second, diversification of industrial sector. Okay. So first, see, you are going to write the heading as well. So first point will be this. For heading, it will be like this: the rise of industrial share of GDP. Okay, the heading will be this, and the explanation will be from here to here. Is it fine?
Okay.
And second, this will be your second point. Don't take the screenshot right now. I'll just explain you so that you people can do it later on. Okay. So second one is diversification of industrial sector. So no longer was India industry limited to cotton. See, earlier we had only two industry or few industry like the cotton, textile, and the jute. But now industrial sector become well diversified by 1990, largely due to the public sector. So basically now it's not like we have only two sectors, two industries. We have lot many industries. So that's why it's also a good point. Next, promotion of small scale industry. The promotion of small scale industry gave opportunities to those who do not have capital to start large firms to get there into business. There are lots of people who want to start business, but they don't have much money. So that also, the small scale industries help them to, start their industry even if they don't have much investment to do. Okay. Fourth, development of indigenous industry. Protection from foreign competition enabled the development of indigenous industry in the area of electronics, automobile sector, which otherwise could not be developed. So basically what happened, foreign competition, we protected it. Protected in somewhere that we didn't allow others to do trade in our country, right? So basically what happened, when you are going to protect your foreign competition, then earlier we used to import electronics and the automobiles, all this, but now we are going to produce it by ourselves. So that also gave to indigenous industries. This electronic automobiles, they all are known as indigenous industries. Clear?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
So these are the positive points. So you can take the screenshot for this positive effect. Heading will be this: hashtag critical evolution. Then you'll write first positive effect, the first point, the second point, the third point, and the fourth point. Quickly take the screenshot.
Done.
Done, ma'am. Done, ma'am.
Oh,
Drawbacks also we could do.
yeah, drawbacks also. I'll just explain you. Okay, then on. Okay. So the drawbacks. Now the second is the negative point or the drawback. So first was ineffective functioning of the public sector. See, public sector is basically the government sector. Everything was under public sector, but they were not working in a good way. So one of the major drawback in the industrial sector was the inefficient functioning of the public sector. Many public sector firms incurred huge losses, but the condition to function because it became difficult to close the government undertaking, even it's a drain of the national limited resources. So basically, if you have an industry in the public sector or the private sector, so if, for example, this is the private sector and this is government sector. Here, 5 people are working. Here also 5 people are working. If private sector is facing losses, they'll close it. But 5 people are working over here. So even if government sector is facing issue, they will not close it. Why? Because if they'll close it, these 5 people will be unemployed. So that's why this was the first issue. Government sector was also facing issue. But instead of facing issue, government never closed their this. And because of what happened, the drain means decrease of national income, limited resources happened. So this is the first point. Yeah, so you can take the screenshot. Till here you will write it.
Done.
Done, ma'am.
Then Sanya,
Done, ma'am.
second is excessive regulation of industry. You already know that in industry there was so many regulations, the license and all that, right? So the excessive regulation of what come to be called as permit license, Raj, prevented certain firms from becoming more efficient. More time was spent on industrialists in trying to obtain the license or lobby with the concerned ministry rather than to improve the quality of their product. So basically what was happening, because of the regulations, what was happening, people were not focusing on the quality, they were focusing more on how they are getting the license. So because of that, the quality was compromised. So till here, you'll be writing that yes, from here to here. Okay. Next, no incentive for producer to improve the quality of the product in the absence of foreign competition. See, this is very, very important point. See, for example, this is shop number A and this is shop number B. Okay, this they are selling the same product. If I know, I will improve my quality. Why? Because if I degrade my quality, then people will not purchase from me. They'll shift to this. And similarly, B1 will also improve the quality, because if in case he'll also decrease, people will shift to this. But for example, in the entire economy, you have only one shop. So whether he is selling good product or the bad product, everyone will be purchasing from him only, because he is the only person who is selling the products, right? So in India also, no incentive for producer to improve the quality of product in the absence of foreign. There was no foreign competition. So the people who were producing good, they knew that no matter whether they are, selling the good quality product or the bad quality product, everyone will purchasing it from there. Okay. So due to restrictions on import of Indian consumer had to purchase whatever the Indian producer to produce. So there was restriction. Nobody can purchase from foreign people. So because of that, whatever they were selling, whatever Indian people were selling, they have to purchase it. The producer were aware that they have a capital market, so they had no incentive to improve the quality of their good. Okay, so that's why they knew that people will only purchase from them. So they were not ready to work on improving the quality. Okay, clear?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you'll write it down. You'll take the screenshot.
Done.
Done, ma'am.
Now, basically, see, of course, people were facing lots of issues. Now, the next chapter is basically the reforms. Reform means the initiative. Reform means form. Means again. Already we planned lots of things, like industries will be doing this, agriculture will be doing this, but now owning to all this conflict means some people were saying negative, some people were saying positive. Economics change for a change in policy. There, along with the Lect introduced new economic policy in 1991. So basically this chapter deals with 1950 to 1991. Okay, but after this, people criticize a lot. Whatever policy was adopted in between, people criticize a lot. That's why government introduced economic policy in 1991 or after 1990. Clear? New economic policy basically. Clear?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Okay. So this is the chapter is all about everything. So you people will, like, of course, this just leave one page after whatever you have written. Just make sure that you are completing your notes. Don't feel like you have the screenshot. Otherwise, it will be a screenshot. You will not able to make the notes. So tomorrow or maybe today itself, if you have time, if you have 10-15 minutes, you can complete your notes from the screenshot and just leave one page after that. And from next class onwards, we'll just start. And Sanya, maybe tomorrow or maybe day after tomorrow, I'll take your extra class for national income. Yeah?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh. Sanya, like, is there any other chapter coming? BOP is coming?
Ma'am, national income and aggregates.
Sanya, you are not audible.
Ma'am, national income and aggregates.
Okay.